Assalamu alaikum. So I wanted to share with you my rebirth story and how I became a Muslim, and inshallah hoping to inspire like most of y'all just to like never give up and to have faith in Allah. So where do I start? This is gonna be a long one. You guys better get some coffee, make a cup of tea, get comfortable, get relaxed. So right, I was raised I don't know why I'm laughing, right? Astaghfirullah. So I was raised as I don't know what I was raised as, to be honest. We went through many religions as a child. So my background is I'm Persian with some Polynesian. My mom was raised as a Shia. She's Iranian. So she didn't like Islam at all because of the way she was raised. That she felt it was very oppressive. It was an oppressive religion, and it stopped women from flourishing. Obviously, because she was taught the wrong version of the religion. So we escaped my extremely abusive father when I was 4. Literally packed our bags in the middle of the night, and I remember waking up in the taxi and asking my mum, "Where are we?" The same night he tried to kill my mum. So my mum ran away from there. We ended up in a shelter, and my mum had a connection with Allah, but it was never like, He's Allah. She used to say that something is watching us. Someone is watching over us as a higher power, right? So when we settled into our home, we went to church. Actually, our neighbor was a nun, and she's always come over and help us. So we just went to church with her. I thought, okay, let's go to church. And I remember eating a little piece of bread and drinking the body of Jesus and drinking the wine or something like that. I remember that. And we were Christians for like a year or two, and I went to a school that was predominantly Muslim. Oh my God, guys. Right. I used to get bullied because I didn't believe in God per se when I was a kid. My mom used to always say that heaven is when you die and hell is on earth. So one day a kid goes to me, "Do you believe in God? Or do you fear God?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "Oh my God, she doesn't fear God, she doesn't fear Allah." And I was like, what are these kids on about? And they're like, I got bullied relentlessly after that, literally. And the kids used to bully me, saying, "You don't know Surah Fatiha." I think the kids thought that I was Asian because it was a predominantly Indian, South Asian school. 99% were South Asian, and they must have thought I was South Asian when I'm not. So they just automatically assumed that because my skin color is brown, that I must be Pakistani or Indian. And I was like, no. At that point, I didn't know what I was because I wasn't raised with my aunties and my uncles. My mom didn't really know much about her culture because she was just in the kitchen all the time when she was a kid. That's a totally different story. But anyways, so we weren't raised with a culture. As far as I knew, I was white, okay? I'm letting you know my secrets. I thought I was a white girl, living it up because all my neighbors were white, and I just identified as a white girl. I didn't know who I was, okay? Unfortunately. And you may be thinking that I'm crazy, or like, what kind of world did I live in? But honestly, I did not know what I was growing up, okay? I had no connection with my father. My mum had no connection with her culture. She mentioned a few times that she was like Iranian, Persian, whatever, but we had no connection with our culture, so we just went on different paths. So we were Christian for a while. That didn't work out. My mom didn't really understand the whole Trinity thing. Neither did I. Didn't understand. And I remember reading the Bible about beating your women, and I was like, "Mom, why does it say about beating your women, or about shaving their heads or something?" I can't remember. And my mom was like, "Okay, this is not the religion." So then we went to Jehovah's Witness. Now, Jehovah's Witness, I remember going to their seminars, and I used to get all dolled up, like dressed up in my little skirt, and then go in my notepad and like write things down, whatever. I thought I was like the bee's knees, innit? I used to go down with my little notepad, write things down about the apocalypse and all this stuff. And my mom asked one of the people, what happens to the soul? Because my mom knew that we have a soul. She obviously, you can feel it inside of you that you have a soul, and they believe that that when you die, you just die. There's no retribution. So Hitler, whatever he did, or whatever these horrible people did in the world, they are not going to be judged, or they're not going to be punished. So my mom was like, "Nah, sorry mate, this is not the religion." So this is about the age of 9 and 10 now. I'm an atheist. I've given up in believing in Allah. And I tell you one thing, guys, I hated Islam. Okay? I really hated Islam, and I hate to admit that, but I was one of the people that when anything had to do against Muslims, I was on the side of the non-Muslims. So yeah, because I was bullied in school, I associated those bullies with Islam. I was thinking they must be getting that from the religion and not realizing that they're actually getting it from their parents, and their parents are being raised on culture. But obviously when you're a kid, you don't see it that way, right? And actually, I remember just one time, we went to the masjid. My mom enrolled us in madrasa. We got beaten up on the bus, guys. My brother got scratched. He got beaten up so badly, he was bleeding. His whole eye was bleeding. My hair was ripped out. Don't know what happened on that bus, mate. Don't know what happened, but the kids just beat the crap out of us on that madrasa bus, and the guy driving it didn't stop. So my mom was like, this is why Islam is a bad religion, because look at the people, they're like animals, what's wrong with them? So that was one time I went to madrasa, never again. From that day I was traumatized. I was like, I hate this religion, I hate Muslims, I hate Islam. Okay, and I wasn't vocal about it, but I felt it inside of me, right? I had Muslim friends, don't get me wrong, I had Muslim friends, but I used to always try and entice them, because I used to always dress up, and I used to always try and entice them, saying, oh, don't you wish you could be like me, more free, my mom doesn't like give me a curfew, I can do what I want, all this stuff, yeah? So I used to always entice them and make them think that their life is crap, which is a bad thing, I know. But anyway, so I was an atheist for a while. My mom went into Hinduism and Buddhism, and I think she went into Sikhism, I can't remember, but she used to watch a lot of Bollywood drama, and at one point she actually said to herself that she's a Hindu. Yeah, so she used to say Bhagwan, and I was like, Mom, what is this? And then I remember following her for a month or two, and I started learning Urdu. So I was like, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, that famous movie. I thought that was a part of the religion. I didn't know, okay? So I thought that language was a part of the religion, so I had to learn it to be a Hindu. Don't know why, because everyone loved Bollywood and everything, and most of them were Hindu, so I thought, okay, let me just go along with that. Anyways, that did not work out for me. And during that time, I was modeling, so I used to model, and it was like I was looking for validation. Because I grew up without my father, and because my father was very abusive, I was looking for validation from men. And this is why I felt empowered when I was modelling. But deep down inside, I didn't feel good enough. I felt really horrible. I felt really sick, and I felt really disgusting because, men are just perving on me, and I was just only good for the lust of men. Looking at it now, it makes me feel sick. But back then, I was just like, yeah, I'm the bee's knees, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a model, look at me, all eyes on me, I'm this, I'm that, I'm getting validation. My ego is being fed, right? Because all my life, I didn't get that validation from my father. And this is why it's so important, ladies, to get validation, like validate yourself. If your father didn't validate you, you need to validate yourself. You need to instill that love, that worth within yourself. And because I was sexually abused as well, I associated the looks with validation. Okay, when you're sexually abused, like, you go through so many issues. Like, you don't know, you're hypersexual, you thrive on men looking at you, you thrive on older men looking at you. It's just like, it's like a normal part of the process of being sexually abused. And I know so many of you have messaged me telling me this, and I'm so afraid to tell people this. Girls, I've been through it, I know how it is, right? So I was a model, I enjoyed the validation, but I felt sick inside. I felt like, this is not right, okay? This is just not it. This is not my life. This is not how I see myself 10 years from now. Just being on, I was supposed to go to America and model, and I was like, I don't see myself doing that. Alhamdulillah, by the will of Allah, Allah took me to a different city to finish my law degree. What happened is I got into the wrong crowd in my hometown, and I had to flee, right? But literally I did have to flee because I was on house arrest for like 3 months. Not house arrest, anyways. But I was just like on the D-low. I was laying low for like 3 months. I failed my second year in my hometown in the university, so I decided to defer it to a different university. Alhamdulillah, by the will of Allah, I was accepted into a different university in a different city. So I packed all my things and I just went away. Right, so I go to my new university, right, and I come across a bunch of Muslim girls, and oh my god, I literally crap myself, because I'm thinking, in my mind, all I can remember is the kids bully me in school for not believing in Allah. And these girls were South Asian, and I was like, oh my God, it's happening again, right? And obviously I'm not Muslim. I'm like, you know, wearing my tight dresses, whatever. And these girls approached me. They're like, oh, like, hi, where are you from? And they're like, you Muslim? I was like, yeah, I'm Muslim. I was lying, guys. I was lying. I was not Muslim, okay? But I was so afraid of them that they're gonna, like, you know, tell me the word of God and rebuke me with the Quran. So I was just like, yeah, Muslim, yeah. And then stuff a lot. They're my friends now, yeah, but they didn't know what was going on inside of me. So they took me to the eye sock and they took me to pray, and I was just like, oh, this is nice, yeah, okay. And then like the girl invited me back around to her house, and me in my mind thinking, okay, like, she's either gonna hurt me, or she's either gonna like try and force the Quran down my throat, or she's gonna start asking me questions about this Surah Fatiha. I remember Surah Fatiha. The kids in school used to bully me about it, but I didn't know it. I was just like, what are you guys on about? So my mom literally, I remember one time in school, because my mom, obviously, she was raised Shia, so they still understood Surah Fatiha. They still recited it. So I used to say to my mom, what is Surah Fatiha, and why do the kids keep like bullying me over it? So I remember one time, my mom sat me down and she helped me learn Surah Fatiha. I didn't know what it meant, but I just remember the Arabic. Like, may Allah reward my mom for that. Like, I think about it to this day that my mom gets rewarded for every time I recite Surah Fatiha, because she's the one who taught me it, despite the fact that we weren't Muslims. I know it's a weird kind of like, you know, I know you guys are thinking, what the hell? Like, how is this like, you know? Anyways, but we just experienced so many religions. So anyways, back to university. So yeah, the girl invites me to her house, but she doesn't have any chicken. I end up cooking for her, and it was a blast. I was like, wow, these girls are quite cool, man. Like, they're not like trying to like force me. They're not even talking about the religion. They're just like having a great time. Like, okay, this sounds cool. So as time went on, I asked them, like, why do you wear the hijab? Like, what's the reason for it? And I remember one of the girls saying that it's a commandment from Allah. I was like, okay, right? So I remember reading the Quran. I think they pointed me to it, or someone else pointed me to it. And I read the ayah of the Quran where Allah says cover. And then I read the hadith that goes with it. Allahu Akbar, guys. When I read the hadith of how the women tore their waist aprons and covered their face with it, and the Prophet ﷺ did not even say anything, it was like my whole world opened. I can't explain it to you guys. I just stood in shock, like, what? So this niqab, this hijab, was not ordained by a man, because the Prophet ﷺ remained silent. He didn't tell the women how to interpret that ayah. He remained silent. And the women tore off they felt the need to tear their waist aprons and put it over their face. That was their interpretation of the niqab and the hijab. It came from a woman. That woman established her version of hijab, and it was the niqab, right? So I sat there thinking, oh my God, I cried. Guys, I cried. I had like shivers running down my spine. I was goosebumps all over. I was like, wow, all this time I thought men had forced women to wear hijab. All this time I thought men were the reason why women weren't happy. I didn't know much about Prophet ﷺ at that time, but the fact that he remained silent was just like a breakthrough for me. I was just like, wow. And I remember it was midnight and I took my shahada. I just googled the shahada and I said it. And I cried to Allah, and I was like, Allah, thank you for guiding me. At that moment, like, it felt like my heart had been completed. Like, it makes me tear up thinking this, but like, I feel like my heart felt like it clicked. Like the missing piece had just, you know, clicked back into place. And I felt so whole. I felt this sakina. Allahu Akbar. I remember feeling this like sakina overcome me. And it was just like this peaceful, calm feeling, like, oh my God, I feel so full. You know when you have a meal and you feel full? My heart felt so full. This was the answer I was looking for my whole life. My whole life I was looking for something to fill me. I was trying to fill it with the addictions, with like the modeling, the trying to get validation from other men. I was trying to fill it with that, and nothing ever filled it. It was unfillable, that void, until I took my shahada, until I found like the hijab and the niqab was not ordained by the Prophet ﷺ. It was ordained by Allah, and the women interpreted it as such. So this whole peaceful feeling overcame me. And then I remember YouTubing. I don't know, I think I had a scarf. Did I have a scarf? I don't know how. I think I had a scarf. You know, like you have like those normal scarves that you wear around your body, like this normal shawl. I had that in my cupboard, I remember. And I remember YouTubing it. I remember YouTubing how to make your hijab into a niqab. And guys, I walked out the next day with a full face veil, and everyone was shocked. Like I remember a guy I used to speak to on the campus. He was like, "What happened to you? Did someone die?" I was like, "Yeah, the old me died. The old Rosie died. All right, this is a new me." And I was the only girl on campus wearing a niqab in a predominantly non-Muslim area. I was the only woman with a niqab on. And that was so liberating for me, guys. I can't explain to you how liberating and empowering it was for me to cover myself. It helped me take my power back. That was my power. That you don't judge me according to what I look like. You can only judge me by my intellect. You no longer can judge me by what I'm dressed like, how my body is shaped, how my face is shaped, how pretty it is, and all this stuff. You can't judge me by that. You now are forced to judge me by what I say. That was liberating. I no longer felt shackled to like society standards. I gave away all my expensive clothes. I remember giving it to charity, and I felt so good doing it. It's like I finally broke free of the shackles of society. It was truly liberating. So yeah, guys, it's been 9 years since I was a Muslim, alhamdulillah. Obviously, I have my low moments. I'm not religious in any way. I'm not pious in any way. I'm not a scholar. I'm not someone that's, a personality or an influencer. Please don't see me as that way. I'm just a normal everyday girl, everyday Muslim who's trying her best to focus on the religion and stay straight. So I hope this inspired you. Please do comment below. Feel free to share. Tag someone who needs to read this. Not read this. Watch this video. And inshallah, I'll speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum.